Repeated rains have spawned cycles of flooding along the Riverwalk. Waterlogged foundations leave the buildings tilting at odd angles as silt and sand inundate the area.
I call it death by inches. It happens slowly, it happens insidiously. The river itself, although not flowing very fast, would flood over and over again, bringing a lot of silt, a lot of sand. Basically cover part of that area. The buildings sink into it and settle, but they sink unevenly.
Eventually, the lean is too much for one of the buildings. 200 years after people. In what was once Seattle, corrosion has also been eating away at the needle's supports.
When the roof starts to leak, moisture starts to get inside the structure, and that moisture causes the steel to want to corrode. The weakest link probably is going to be some of these joints, some of the support bracing that's in place. You know, those are the kind of things that have the most opportunity for corrosion to kind of get into some cracks, take hold, and then expand from there.
Weakened from 100 wounds over 200 years, the symbol of hope and progress from 1962 gives up the fight. After people, in Sydney Harbor, the Opera House is becoming unstable. Hundreds of feet above the crumbling pilings of the harbor, the moist, salty air has slowly eaten away at the building's signature shells. The iconic roof was built using an innovative technique that made the curved shape strong. It's a system known as precast, pre-stressed.
Cables are laid in a setting area, stretched as much as 6 inches over 100 feet. And as soon as the concrete has cured to the design strength, the cables are cut. And what happens is much like a rubber band. If you stretch it and let go, they want to snap back together.
But now, the stretch technique that gave the shells their strength is working against their survival.
Steel cable under pressure, it's going to snap. And as soon as one snaps, you're adding the pressure and the force from that area of the building to another area.
An entire shell quickly rips itself apart. As the crumbling shells slam down onto the main deck, the pilings most exposed to the salty water fail, and the rest of the structure collapses toward the harbor. One of the most building in the world is headed down under. The weakened cast-iron dome of the U.S. Capitol building, the 15,000-pound bronze Statue of Freedom is now the architect of destruction.
The statue is trying to pull on one side of the dome and push on the other side of the dome. That then means that the entire statue will punch down through the dome and it will all slump over like a wedding cake.
Looming over the scene of desolation is the Stratosphere Tower. It is the tallest freestanding observation tower in America. But perhaps its most distinctive features are the highest amusement rides in the world, including one that dangled visitors 64 feet over the edge of the tower on a mechanical arm. Although neighboring California is notorious for earthquakes, Nevada experiences thousands of its own tremors every year.
The buildings in Las Vegas, because it's a relatively dry climate, you might think would last a long time,
but actually many of them will be shaken down.
A violent quake lashes the tower back and forth like a whip. Losing support from its base, the big observation pod hits the ground at 150 miles per hour. The entire tower smashing in a cloud of debris. "175 years of neglect has left the White House looking anything but presidential. Although the walls are intact, parts of the roof have fallen. And nothing can stand up to what's happening now in Washington, D.C.
In 2006-2007, there was an Army Corps of Engineers study on the area around the White House and the Capitol Mall. And it turns out that the levees are inadequate to prevent flooding of the area. And in fact, the White House sits right in the middle of what's known as a 100-year floodplain.
Even though the White House itself is on a little hill, the sub-basement goes down about 25 feet. And the sewer lines from the White House back down to the mall have to cover that slope. And as water rises to the south of the White House, those sewer lines will fill with water and overflow right back into the White House sub-basement.
The porous White House sandstone is degrading to mud. And the home of every president since John Adams slides into a watery grave.